undoes defence and midfields of other teams. So it is about tracking runners, but also covering and making sure that you're passing on players as well. And I'm guessing that would have been a lot of the messages at half-time, would be about, you know, communication and making sure that your whole defensive back five, including Teresa Polias, are all on the same page about who's picking up who.
What's to do with the ball that goes out of play. So throw into Brisbane on halfway. Jamila Rankin at the moment is the match winner. Will take for the visiting side. Rankin gets the ball back. Carroll, not for the first time in her career, will find Polkinghorne alongside her. Forward to Yallop, who's just dropped a little deeper here to pick up on possession. And Hecker cutting infield, has support from Heat, outsider, and she's striding into the penalty area. Sixes and sevens a bit Sydney FC as they get the ball clear as far as Gilnick. And Gilnick's given it away. Oxby forward to Simpson. Polkinghorne on the centre circle. Oxby, Polias. Oxby tries to win that again, but Yallop is picking up on possession in the middle of the park. Expect to hear me say that quite a bit, I think, in the second half. Vine infield to Hawksby, comes off the back of Lara Lee. Didn't know an awful lot about it. Another restart. It looked like it was going to be a good ball, actually, but Sydney FC have to start again. Carroll will be tested here. And she'll lose that test, fail that test, because Wheeler is sharp to the ball and gets it into it. Beanie brings it down, and the shot from Simpson is wide. That was good play from Sydney FC on the front foot at the start of the second half and putting Brisbane under pressure.
Great positive play there from Sydney FC and Claire Wheeler. Great turn there and able to get a really good ball into the box. Princess Abini does well just to hold that one up and lay it off for Remy Simpson, who would want to have that shot again.
Might get another opportunity here. Abini is lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Simpson tries to pick up on it. It'll come to Wheeler again, whose shot is wide and behind. Wheeler, maybe she thinks it's a lucky afternoon having got that goal in the first half. It always looked as though it was going to sail wide of the upright.
Yeah, Claire Wheeler's another player who's in great form at the moment. Spent a bit of time out with injury at the start of the season, but hasn't missed a beat since she's stepped back in and looking fitter than she ever has. So great to see her playing really well, and she'll be a big key here for Sydney if they're going to come back in this game.
Vine wins a header. Not seen as much of her as we have recently, Courtney Vine, in recent games. She does look a threat on that right-hand side when she does get possession. Sydney FC have not found her as much as they have in recent matches. Polias. Brisbane come away with it. Yallop has found herself a yard or two of space. Chance forward over hits it. Gilnick gives up that chase. And Wyman conceded Sydney's second and third goals of the season this afternoon. Plenty of work for Sydney FC to do if they're to find a way back into the game. A reminder, we talk about the Sydney 100% record, but Brisbane, of course, unbeaten so far this season. They drew their first 4 games, and they've won their last 3. And they've scored 11 goals in the process of that. And a couple this afternoon as well. But they are finding the formula in terms of scoring goals. Ball is back with Wyman. 21-year-old Sydney goalkeeper, who finds only touch, not Vine. There's not the pace so far in this second half that there was in the first.
Both sides just seeming to need to settle into the game a little bit more. Not quite getting the same combination plays through the middle third as we saw in the first half, and players finding it a little bit more difficult to get on the ball. I'm sure it'll settle a little bit more into this second half.
It was out of play for a throw off Christodoulou. Rankin will take it. Gilnick tries to get through a challenge or two and then gets a shot clipped in, but Wyman always looked favourite and managed to take possession. Easy afternoon in Sydney, but a sunny one. Forward to Vine. Carroll on halfway. Yeah, misplaced pass from Yallop.
Seeing a little bit of frustration there from Yallop. Her and Gilnick just not on the same page. I don't think that Gilnick's actually supporting Yallop as much as she could be in this game. And, you know, in a situation like that, Yallop can only put it in one position, and Gilnick just needs to be on the right side of the defender to give herself a chance.
Here is Gilnick. She loses out on this occasion after Dalton had combined well with her, and Yallop. He's always picking up the ball in a couple of yards of space. He just seems to find space so naturally. That's curled in towards Gilnick. Lovely chest down. McKenna has the opportunity, and it deflects away behind for a corner. Better from Brisbane, as you mentioned. They got Gilnick more into the game in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's a fantastic ball in, and great layoff there from Emily Gilnick. McKenna does well to get the shot down and to get it put away for a corner.
Rankin will take the corner. You can see Gilnick with 6 goals this season so far. Michelle Heyman also with 6. So the ball is into the penalty area, and Polkinghorne heads in, and Brisbane have a third. We've been talking all afternoon about the danger that Sydney FC possess from set pieces, and Polkinghorne's second goal of the season could be a crucial one in the title race. Brisbane have a third.
What a big moment in this game, and who is it other than Claire Polkinghorne to step up? Big header. We know how dangerous Brisbane Roar can be on set pieces, and she's delivered that one perfectly. See a cheeky little goal celebration. I wonder if that's a little key there for Katrina Gorry, who announced during the week that she's pregnant. I'm sure that that's a little sign there to say that she's still part of the team, and they're all still thinking of her.
That looks like the goal that could be so important, and it looks like a signal as well for a double change for Sydney FC. Come to that in a moment, but Rachel Lowe and Alira Toby are poised to come on for the home side. I remind you, before today, have only conceded 1 goal all season, and now 3 well before an hour against Brisbane in this battle between first and second. Wonderful set piece. And Polkinghorne, great run into the penalty area, and always looked favourite to get on the end of it. McKenna drills it out to that far side. Dalton. There's Polkinghorne. Now Hacker. There's renewed confidence about this Brisbane side. You can feel them buzzing away a little bit. There's Yallop. He's on the edge of the penalty area. This could get messy if it continues like this for much longer. As Brisbane have really taken the confidence from that third goal. And here is the double substitution. And Mackenzie Hawkesby is one of those that will make way for Rachel Lowe. And we'll also see Alira Toby come on for Remy Simpson. Simpson, who's scored 4 in the last 3, but in all fairness, has barely had a sniff this afternoon.
Yeah, look, I don't think that either of these two girls who are coming off have done anything wrong this afternoon. Sydney haven't made the most of a lot of their opportunities, and potentially that's why Ante Jurics is looking to inject some new players into that attacking third, because they need goals now. They need fresh legs.
Yeah, they're losing in the middle of the park, aren't they? And Brisbane able to come forward, not quite at will, but at fairly regular intervals. So Toby and Lowe are on. Plenty of work for Sydney FC to do here. The ball rebounds off Hecker.
Yeah, those substitutions seem to be that they're looking to go forward and score goals. They know that they need to get 2 more to get a draw, and I'm sure they'll be still thinking that they can win this game, but they really need to tidy some things up at the back. They're getting undone in a lot of situations, and just not able to pass on players well enough. And if they don't tidy that up the way that Brisbane are going at the moment, I'm sure there's going to be more goals.
Polkinghorne a little bit lax with the touch. It might break here for Wheeler, edge of the penalty area, has support, but can't find the pass that would have caused a problem for Brisbane. Elias finds a beanie. Well cut out by Rankin. And Carroll will clear. Ibini dispossessed by chance. And now Yallop, and there's Hecker in acres of space on the other side. If Yallop can get her head up and see her, but she couldn't. And had that pass gone through, Hecker would have been in on goal for a 4th for Brisbane Roar, who've been terrific this afternoon. Dalton to Yallop. Ball inside the fullback. McKenna with the ball in towards the near post, and it's claimed by Wyman. This feels at the moment like how many?
Yeah, look, Brisbane don't seem to be letting up, and they're in great form at the moment. They're putting away their chances, and Sydney, as I mentioned, if Sydney don't tidy it up, it could get quite messy here.
Chance to Carroll, and on to Polkinghorne. Chance has got some room in that centre circle. And Carroll on the left foot knocks it forward to Gilnick, who appeals for a shove in the back, and after a moment or two's hesitation from Lara Lee, the referee, it will be a free kick to Brisbane Roar. Rankin is in space out on this left-hand side. Just wanted to see where Lara Lee's going to get the book out. Here she is. I'll get the card out. I don't have books so much anymore. And booking for, I think it was Aristidula, was it?
I think Charlotte McLean's come in a little bit late there on Gilnick, as we saw on the replay, and Gilnick not happy about it. As a number 9, when you're a stand-up number 9 coming in for the ball, you do rely on the referee protecting you a little bit, because quite often you can get late little bites in like that. So good call there from Lara Lee.
I was wondering if it was the challenge or something that was said that led to the booking. We'll get that cleared up. As there's a free kick for Brisbane. Dalton.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Potentially just could have been one of those ones that, you know, McLean's been called up a few times, had a few warnings, so may have just been the last straw there for Lara Lee.
Free kick for Brisbane. Dalton is over it. And there are 5-6 players around the edge of the penalty area. As Dalton floats it towards Polkinghorne, that flicks off the head of a Sydney defender and out of play for a throw in, for a corner rather, on that far side. And we saw what happened last time there was one of these. Polkinghorne and Hecker have a chat, work something out. And Rankin, who delivered that corner for Polkinghorne to nod home Brisbane's third, will again take the corner. Rankin towards the near post. Gilnick gets a flick on. Yallop in space. Back to Dalton. And Yallop again looks to get past the challenge of Claire Wheeler, but can't do so. But it is behind for another corner. Fair play to Brisbane. They're not sitting back here. They are looking for more goals.
It's a great little tackle there from Claire Wheeler. Very well timed.
Corner kick will be taken short here, and Sydney FC are late waking up to it. Rankin curls it in. It's cleared to Dalton on the edge of the penalty area. This might break for Hecker, but she flashes it wide. I think the flag might have gone up against Gilnick had she touched it. But Gilnick realised and allowed Hecker to run through from midfield and sliced it wide of the upright. Another good chance for Brisbane.
Yeah, just Sydney not clearing the ball there. And it comes back in. You see players not picking up the runners in that second phase play. It's something that you speak a lot about. You pick up runners for corners, and then as soon as the ball goes out, you can't leave those players until the ball is out of a dangerous position. Sydney have left all their runners in the box, and that's what's opened up that opportunity.
So Brisbane coming forward again with Yallop. Tries a right-footed shot, and that's not a long way wide from Yallop. Brisbane are picking up all sorts of space around the edge of the penalty area and are looking for a fourth goal here and looking for a fourth consecutive win. And Sydney look nailed on at the moment for a first defeat of the season. This ball is in to the edge of the penalty area. It's cleared as far as Wheeler. And now Polias, but given away. Forward to Gilnick. Now Hecker. Here they come again, Brisbane. Yallop, edge of the penalty area. Forward to Chance. There are 4 players waiting inside the penalty area for a ball in. Ricochets away, and Vine will clear. So many bodies forward, and it's causing all sorts of problems for this Sydney defence.
Yeah, Brisbane throwing a lot of numbers forward, but you just see their patience on the ball. A lot of players getting in good positions, knowing it's not quite on, happy to recirculate and try and find a player in a clear-cut situation. Chance
has space down the left. Ball into the penalty area. It's still not cleared. Gilnick and Hecker were trying to get on the end of it. And that'll probably be a free kick against Rankin. And the ball is kicked away. Sydney FC bench are not overly enamoured with that. Another change for Sydney FC here. Charlie Rule is about to come on. I'd like to see who for in just a moment. Not hanging about with the changes. There's Ante Juric. There's Princess Abini, who makes way. The bank of the substitution, Georgia.
Yeah, look, Princess Abini's probably been a bit quiet this game, but hasn't had a lot of ball, hasn't had a lot of opportunity. Charlie Rule, a young and exciting player coming through, and it'll be good to see what she can bring to this side in a very unfamiliar position for them where they're down 3-1.
Here's Vine. Hooked away. Stadulu under pressure, and free kick given to Brisbane. No, free kick given to Sydney. Change of mind. A bit of unhappiness from both benches at that, as you might imagine. The anger is beginning to rise down there. But free kick to Sydney. Polias with it. Clips it forward. And half cleared. There is Ali Green, but she loses out. And Yallop will spoon it forward. Tobin across. Good play from Tobin, but the forward is cut out. Carroll again has possession. Dalton will lose out to Wheeler, who's well forward and looks to scoop it forward. Ricochets away, and Aquino will stop the ball going through a corner. There's a clearance, I think, came off Carroll. Looked to be dribbling towards goal.
Cheeky little ball over the top here from Claire Wheeler. that just shows her quality. It didn't quite come off, but it could have created a lot of problems there for Brisbane Roar. Aquino does well to clean up at the back.
Was out of play on that far side for a throw into Brisbane. Midway through the second half of this table-topping encounter. And Brisbane Roar, after that first 10 minutes, have been excellent in the game thus far. Control possession and look very, very dangerous in and around the edge of the penalty area. Ali Green with the throw in for Sydney. This is Need again. Yallop to Chance, back to Yallop again. And back it goes to Carroll. Yallop pops up on the left. Carroll forward, but that's rather given away. Wheeler, who's impressed actually this afternoon in a losing cause for Sydney. He's the player that managed to break up that Brisbane attack, but visitors have it back. Polkinghorne forward. Heatley tries to keep it in. And, needed a sandwich there, really, rather than a 4-iron. Rather overhit it. And behind it goes for a goal kick. It really looks good in the middle of the park. Impressed the last few games that I've seen, actually, and has done pretty well this afternoon on a very difficult afternoon for her side.
Yeah, she has. Given that, you know, the team isn't quite gelling as well as it usually does, she is a player who's really stepped up and shown actually a lot of experience in there, and is trying to like settle her side and calm the play. Unfortunately, it isn't fully working, but a player that you've got to, you know, commend her on her efforts this afternoon.
Thrown on that far side, and just look up and see the hill on that side, and plenty of people taking advantage of a sunny afternoon in Sydney and watching on. And the majority of them, you think, supporting Sydney FC, but will no doubt be appreciating the quality we've seen from Brisbane this afternoon. There's space for Vine down that right-hand side. To the penalty area, and then rather loses control. And the ball goes out of play for a goal kick. But lovely sight here at Leichhardt Oval. Decent crowd in. Nice atmosphere as well. An important game at the top of the table between the top two. As you can see, everybody needs a hat. Most people are some sunglasses as well. Unless you're in the shade when a jacket may be required. There's Wheeler. Surging forward down that right-hand side. Polkinghorne away. McKenna rather mishits the clearance, but it falls to a Brisbane player, and it's lumped forward for Gilnick to chase. Too much on it, all the way through to Jada Wyman. It's clipped out to the left-hand side, but will not be kept in play by Charlie Rule, the substitute. As you can see, the table is tightening up at the top. It was a real opportunity for Sydney FC to pull away, and they might yet. But as it stands, Brisbane just a couple of points behind Sydney at the top of the table. And the race for the title will be very much on if it stays this way. And Brisbane come forward again. Yallop drills it in. Gilnick! And it rather comes off her midriff than away from danger. But goodness, Sydney have given it straight back to Yallop, and you really don't want to do that. Yallop back to Heatley. Clipped forward, missed control by Polias, and had a play for a throw-in. I thought Gilnick was going to get a goal that would take her to the top of the Golden Boot standings.
It's another fantastic play there from Tamika Yallop. Emily Gilnick visibly disappointed that she didn't get something behind that. I don't think she was expecting it to come all the way through, but That's what Brisbane Roar have shown today. They've just been so dangerous going forward, creating so many goal-scoring opportunities.
Gallup's on a different level to anybody else on the pitch, isn't she, this afternoon? Here's McKenna down the left-hand side. Good ball into the penalty area. Gallup is chasing after it. Sydney FC come away with Courtney Vine. Vine knocks it forward down that right-hand side. And for Toby to chase, the second-half substitute. Looks to knock it back to Vine, or perhaps she was looking further afield than that. In any case, Brisbane will clear the halfway. Polias to the other substitute, Rachel Lowe. To that left-hand side, Dalton is there to shield the defenders. That's played into the penalty area. Aquino will take the ball pretty comfortably in the end.
It's a tough ask there from Melira Toby to be floating the ball in between Kim Carroll and Claire Polkinghorne, two players who are great in the air. And it's going to be a struggle for Melira Toby to win any aerial battles there. Sydney probably need to look to try and play through them rather than getting balls whipped into the box like that.
He's back with Aquino. Rankin. And Carroll. Good play, calm play from Kim Carroll and from Brisbane generally. The commentator's curse as Gilnick gives the ball away. And Vine surges forward down the right-hand side, but would rather overhit that. And will dribble away to Hecker. Or go out of play perhaps on that far side. Now Hecker will keep the ball in play. And she's coming forward, looking for the run of McKenna. It's going to go out of play on that far side. No, just kept in again. Let's go down pitch side with Victoria Slater, who's, I think, just behind the Sydney FC bench. Victoria.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. I am. And Sydney are about to make another change here. Look, their entire team has really gone into their shells. Their entire bench, including Ante Juric, especially quiet. Whereas Jake Goodship, he's been extremely vocal, telling his side to press and lift.
Is Vine forward. Thank you, Victoria. And the referee happy for play to continue. And has to get that message across to Polkinghorne, and does in the end. It's cleared, and we might see the substitution here that Victoria mentioned, with Taylor Ray coming on to replace Courtney Vine. And I mentioned earlier, Georgie Yomandale, that we've not seen the best of Courtney Vine this afternoon, not as influential as she has been in recent games.
No, but I think that's a lot to do with Jamila Rankin in that left-back position. Has had a fantastic game today and has been able to keep Courtney Vine very quiet. I think that Courtney Vine has had a lot of opportunities going forward, but yeah, as I mentioned, Jamila Rankin's been fantastic for me for Brisbane Roar.
Quarter of an hour to go. Brisbane in second, lead the leaders Sydney by 3-1, and are closing the gap at the top as it stands to just a couple of points.
It's a really interesting substitution there from Ante Juric, though, bringing on a midfielder for a wide wing player, and you see Rachel Lowe pulling out into that right wing position, which is not a typical position for Rachel Lowe.
Goal kick for Sydney. Gilnick will escape down the left-hand side again. Christodoulou for company. And well played the Sydney fullback to win possession for a side. And they've given it away pretty cheaply again. Halfway. Forward to Gilnick. He's winning the ball again. Rankin. Now it's forward to Toby. And it comes off of Rankin and out of play. Fought a throw in to Sydney on this near side. Christodoulou with it. Wheeler lays it off. There's the substitute, Taylor Ray. Forward, but Polkinghorne steps across and just stabs the ball out of play. Good experience from Polkinghorne.
Another player who's been fantastic today. We expect a lot from Claire Polkinghorne. She's a fantastic player, and she's really stepped up today, really taking command of that back line.
Just seems so in charge all the time. It feels like the game's almost played at a pace she's quite happy with. She's not often tested, and she's so often in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just the way that she reads the game. She never seems to be caught out of position, and then therefore she's very rarely actually chasing or stretching for the ball.
Really impressive again, as she has been for much of the season. Gilnick and Ristadulu come together again. Referee happy for play to continue. There's Lowe, the substitute, to Polias. Tobin. And Heatley, good defending, steps forward and wins possession and concedes a throw. Sydney FC have possession. Ristadulu flips it forward. That's played off Sydney, and out for a throw into Brisbane Raw down this left-hand side. Jamila Rankin with it. Who put Brisbane back into the lead after 16 minutes. We had 3 goals in the first 16 minutes. You are just joining us this afternoon. Yallop's header after 8 minutes. Wheeler with the equaliser for Sydney FC 3 minutes later. Rankin made it 2-1 on 16 minutes, and then had to wait until 9 minutes into the second half for another goal, provided by the head of Claire Polkinghorne. Change on the way for Brisbane as well. Sian Fryer's going to step into the action in place of McKenna, which was the change that we saw for the start of the game, the reverse of that. As Carroll clears to McKenna. That might be her final touch. It is. She almost seemed to know that the board was going to have her number on it. She turned around and wandered off the pitch. But McKenna coming into the side today in place of Sian Fryer. She's done well, McKenna.
Yeah, she's got through a lot of work this afternoon. She's been all over the place, getting balls into the box and defensively as well, making sure she gets back. So I'm sure it's just a matter of bringing on some fresh legs and Brisbane looking to go forward and score more goals.
Should be cleared by Heatley, but isn't. And Brisbane in the end are able to clear their lines with some comfort. Feels like a bit of the sting has gone out of the game because of the scoreline and the control which Brisbane have had. Maybe see if we get one back here. You never know. Maybe a time for a couple of goals in this game. Low, dispossessed. And now the substitute Fryer just into the action. Gives the ball away, wins it back. Carroll the chance. All the way back to a goalkeeper, Morgan Aquino.
I think a Sydney FC player we haven't seen a lot from this afternoon is Ali Green, who's been pivotal in there.
That's a good ball, curled forward for Toby, but just ahead of the substitute and through to Aquino again. Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, Ali Green been pivotal in the start to their season, but just unable to get forward in this game. And knowing from experience, having played in left back against Brisbane on Thursday night, the way that Brisbane play and Hecker actually sits quite wide, and it makes it really difficult as a left back to get forward. So that's one of the reasons that we're not seeing Ali Green being able to progress up the field and get on the ball, which is one of Sydney's main outlets and has been for the start of the season. How
conscious are you? You obviously saw the game the other night where you played at fullback. Of you want to get forward, particularly as more naturally attacking player. You want to get forward, but also it pushes Hecker back. Therefore, she is less of a threat. But of course, if you do push forward, you leave space in behind. It's a difficult balance, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's about winning that battle early on, because if you can get the upper hand there, she's more worried about you than you are about her.
Chance coming forward. Deflection will take it behind for a corner. And, Brisbane continuing to put pressure on the Sydney goal. Is there a point where you think, I've got to be a defender now, because Hecker is causing too many problems in that case?
Yeah, and in the case of Brisbane Raw, a lot of that comes from, you know, the threat of Emily Gilnick.
Oh, short corner. Look at the space here. The ball floated into the penalty area. It's another mistake. And it's a fourth for Brisbane Raw. Jada Wyman with the mistake. And that is a defensive calamity for Sydney FC, who've been so good all season. But to leave the corner taker and the second player free, and then the cross in, and Wyman has spilled it into her own net. I think it'll have to go down as an own goal, but the defending is shocking here. Look at the space there is. And then the claim by Wyman is really not overly clever. And with 10 minutes to go, Brisbane Roar have surely wrapped up the game.
Yeah, Sydney FC just switched off there, not knowing which player's meant to be stepping out and pressing on the second player standing there on the corner. But that player, again, as I've mentioned a few times, she's had a fantastic game today, and Jamila Rankin gets her second goal for the afternoon, and you'd have to think really settles this one for Brisbane Roar.
Olivia Chance makes way. Another impressive performance from her in the middle of the park. And Rebecca Horsey comes on in her stead. It's that goal officially being given as an own goal by Jada Wyman. So Rankin won't be able to claim it. Not sure who it is who makes that decision. Maybe one day in life when I've earned my corn, I could be the person that adjudicates whether it's an own goal or not. But anyway, officially given as an own goal. And Brisbane Roar have a fourth goal of the afternoon. I think it's a pretty fair reflection on what we've seen this afternoon. They've been much the better side. It just come as a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I think a lot of that seems to be this afternoon. It's just experience. Brisbane Roar have got a lot of players who have played in big matches before, and they know how to grind out a win. Sydney FC gets put behind early on, and they've really struggled since then to come back.
I've got good news for Jamila Rankin. Apparently they've officially now changed their minds and given it to Jamila Rankin for her second goal of the afternoon.
Maybe they listened to you.
Well, I must admit, I thought it was an own goal, but it looks better, doesn't it, if Rankin has the goal rather than an own goal. It's not going to change the result, I don't think. It would be extraordinary if it was influential in any way, as Rankin turns it back to Aquino. Brisbane's so good this afternoon. This will be 4 wins in a row for them. Sydney's first defeat of the season. And now Gilnick will look to get on the end of this down the Brisbane right. The thing that's been missing from their point of view is that Gilnick goal to take her to the top of the Golden Boot charts, but there's time yet. 5 minutes plus stoppage time.
Yeah, Gilnick just struggled to settle into this game today. She's had a few good opportunities herself and unable to put one away, but what she does do is her presence draws players away from the run of others around her. So her presence there makes sure that the centre-backs are worried about marking her, and they don't think to pick up runs of midfielders going forward in behind.
Yeah. And even, I would venture to suggest, even if she didn't score a goal all season, she'd still get picked every week, because she's so important in the way they play Brisbane Roar, and sets up so many other goals for players around it. And as I mentioned, she's got 6 goals herself this season. Double change on the way from Brisbane in a moment. Once the ball goes out of play, Yallop. Throw in on that far side. And here comes the double change. It's Anna Margraf who's going to come on to replace Emily Gilnick, and also Caitlin Torpey is going to come on as well, and she will replace Mariel Hecker. This is after a tough week, given they only played on Thursday, Brisbane Roar. This is to give, what, 5 minutes or so of rest to a couple of players that they will need in the coming weeks to be absolutely fresh.
Yeah, and also I think giving a bit of time to these young players coming on, and Torpey came off the bench for them on Thursday, and I thought she did really well. So all the minutes that you can get adds to the experience. So much fun coming off the bench when your team is up 4-1. You know that you've got a bit of free rein to attack and try and show what you can do.
Carino back in possession. And the sunshine here in Sydney this afternoon. It's given away. And Lowe comes forward to Toby. Polkinghorne is equal to the challenge. Margraf can't win it. And here's Christodoulou. Forward to Lowe. Fryer gets back to get the challenge in. Referee's looking closely at that to see if there's any foul play. Rankin, who's on a hat-trick, looks to clear her lines. And behind for a goal kick. 3 minutes to go in the game, and Brisbane comfortably ahead. It's the fourth time in their history that Sydney have conceded 4 at home. Biggest loss actually is 6-0 against Melbourne City 5 or 6 seasons ago. But
gotta get in there, right? Yep.
been given a bit of a lesson this afternoon. Here they come forward though with Wheeler down that right-hand side, trying to win a corner. A bit of a tug of the shirt. Rankin by Wheeler. It'll be a free kick for Brisbane, deep in their own territory with a couple of minutes to go. Imagine if you've won all these games in a row, Georgia, and suddenly you get a punch on the nose like Sydney have got this afternoon. It can destabilise things a little bit. There'll be work to do for Ante Juric this week.
Yeah, it can be a bit destabilising, and they'll need to bounce back from this, and what you need to do is you turn up next week and you start again. You know what you're capable of doing. It'll be interesting to see how they pick up, as it is a young side.
And just like Brisbane, to be fair, Sydney have had a run of games in a short space of time, as many sides have in the W League because of one thing or another. And here they come forward again, the visiting side. Cleared away. Here's Yallop. It's blocked by Wheeler. And Green under pressure. It's given away again. Might be another chance for Brisbane here with Fryer. Just to go away from goal rather. Rankin curls it in to the penalty area. Might break here inside the box. Sydney FC able to clear their lines. Fryer though wins it back. Rankin square to Dalton. Forward to the edge of the penalty area. And Rule gets a touch. Fryer looks to reel that in and set off towards goal, but it ricochets away off her shin and out of play for a goal kick. We're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. Brisbane Roar will be mightily happy with how they find themselves as they head into that stoppage time. Jake Goodship shakes his head. Coaches are never happy, are they? Yallop is in support here as the substitute comes forward, Caitlin Torpey. And it goes to Margraf on that far side. Up to Dalton. And all the way back to Winona Heatley. Brisbane look supreme in possession at the moment. Getting Sydney FC to do all the running. Dalton has it. Forward towards Fry, who's pulling on the shirt of Christodoulou, not spotted by Lara Lee. Let's clip forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Yallop was a willing runner inside. But Caitlin Torpey couldn't find it. And Sydney clear their lines, but it's come straight back. Every time they clear it, Sydney, it seems to go straight to a Brisbane player. Fryer with it, cleared away again. And this time it flicks off of one of those Brisbane players. This time Jamila Rankin, and out of play for a throw into Sydney FC. And a half of stoppage time remaining. Margraf forward towards Tamika Yallop, but Sydney clear. Polkinghorne heads away. Fryer heads on. Playing out time here at the end of the game, but make no mistake about it, this is a huge win, a huge result for Brisbane Roar and for their coach, Jake Goodship. They have been by far the better side this afternoon. Here at Leichhardt Oval. Sydney FC, their 100% record is going to come to a shuddering halt this afternoon. Taylor Ray out to Christodoulou. Over halfway. She's kept going about her work, Christodoulou, this afternoon. Toby finds Polias. Polias gives it away, though Toby will win it back. Carroll is pulling at the shirt of Toby. So play is allowed to continue, and the ball is all the way back with Morgan Aquino, who, apart from that first 10 minutes and the goal, which came just after that 10 minutes, has not been really tested too much.
No, she hasn't. And, you know, you mentioned those first 10 minutes. She pulled off some really big saves very early on in the game. And, you know, if she hadn't have saved a couple of those, it would have been a totally different story this afternoon. So, a player who's playing a very big part for this Brisbane Roar side.
And there goes the full-time whistle. Sydney FC's 100% record is gone. And Brisbane Roar closed to within a couple of points of them at the top of the table. That is a fantastic result for Brisbane, who were pegged back at 1-1 at one stage, but as you can see, ran away with it with a couple of goals in the second half. Brisbane remains second, but just 2 points behind Sydney FC, who dropped points for the first time this season. Full time at Leichhardt Oval, Sydney FC 1, Brisbane Roar 4. A huge result for Brisbane then this afternoon, and that does put the cat amongst the pigeons at the top of the table. I think a lot of people thought that it was going to be a race away from the rest of the pack, but this will shake things up at the top of the table. Let's get reaction from Claire Polkinghorne, who was on the score sheet this afternoon. She is live pitchside with Victoria.
Yeah, Claire, a huge result for you girls today. Must be so happy with that result.
Yeah, it's a good result. We've had a big few days, and that was the plan, to come down to Sydney. Had a tough game on Thursday night against Wanderers, and a bit battered and bruised after that one, but we managed the 3 points, and to back it up today, is really pleasing, but it's all just part of the process.
Yeah, you've beaten the league leaders and are now the only undefeated team in the comp. How's the confidence?
Look, it doesn't matter. Each game is a new game. It doesn't matter what we've done the previous games, and our focus is just continuing to build along each week, and I think we're doing that.
Now, great to see you on the score sheet tonight. Can you talk us through that celebration?
Yeah, it's a bit special for us as a group, and personally as well. So, yeah, that one was for Minnie, and yeah, she's always part of this team.
Thanks so much, Claire.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great performance from Claire Polkinghorne and the rest of the Brisbane Roar side this afternoon. Very nice for Claire Polkinghorne to get a goal. She's welcomed back into the group by Jake Goodship after the interview with Victoria. Let's have a look at the goals that we've seen this afternoon. Then Georgia Yeomandale and Brisbane on top for large parts of the game. They took the lead for a wonderful header and great goal, actually, from Tamika Yallop.
Yeah, it's a great run in behind there from Emily Gilnick and a great left-footed cross to find Tamika Yallop empty at the far post.
Claire Wheeler was, I would say, arguably Sydney FC's best player this afternoon, and she got some reward for closing down goalkeeper Morgan Aquino. Aquino had made a couple of good saves early on to keep the score level. And then Brisbane, from that point on, really looked a real threat, particularly with balls into the penalty area like that from Hecker.
Yeah, great little ball. You see another good little combination play on the right-hand side between Hecker and Yallop.
There's the goal from Polkinghorne, finding space inside the 6-yard box. And the celebration, as she was mentioning, with Victoria down pitch side, and then the shocking fourth goal that Jamila Rankin was able to claim. Poor defending to start with from the corner, and then the mistake from Jada Wyman as the ball went into the net. How big a win do you think this is, Georgia, for Brisbane Roar, and also more widely for the league as a whole?
Yeah, look, big win from Brisbane Roar, as